Hey, what is up, guys? It's MetaGamesGX here, and we're going to be doing my updated Genesys branded Despia deck profile, guys. With the new ban list or point adjustment, branded Draco Tal is now unplayable, so that's okay. We're going to be going back to pure branded Despia. This was already something I said that was going to happen because of the new structure deck. I think was going to make branded players even play pure branded in Genesys and in Modern. So if you guys want to see more Genesys content like this, let me know down below. Leave a like if this video gets to 150 likes. We will be doing that updated combo guide now that the last build is irrelevant. We won't be doing that combo guide, but if this one hits 150 likes, we will be doing that. And comment down below, please, after this video is done, what you guys thought of this profile. Are you running branded? Are you running a different deck? What do you think of branded in Genesys, and what do you think of Genesys? All right, with that being said, click the join button, subscribe today. We are on the road to 20k. Let's do this. This is like basically a 43 card build, I believe. It's right around there. We gotta play skinny down to the ground because we're missing a lot of pieces in the Genesys format. I still think branded is one of the best decks in Genesys format. It has like a lot of ability to board break, and Mirror Jade just solos a lot of the decks in the Genesys format. I do think once an adjustment a few more adjustment lists come and the format gets like fully balanced, and I think like this deck will end up being very good, obviously, because Mirror Jade just once again does a lot into those end boards. It's still very competent going first and going second. You can board break with Engine and still run board breakers. So I think that the two two Cartesia work. These are all 3 points each, so this brings us to 12 already, but I think these are very much worth it. The two Quem for the grind game and two Cartesia, because we're playing a double Guignol kind of deck, so we want to play more Guignol Cartesia control if we can. This could be very easily a 3 of maybe in a future build, but I chose to use my points and other things and try to get some non-engine in the deck. And then after that, we go into 3 Shrouded Dragon for consistency. We are actually running we're running the standard branded Retribution, but we're also running branded Sword in this build now, because branded Sword helps us have a great grind game and makes the Shrouded Dragon so much better. We're also running some other goo, so having this all together helps you really make a great grind game. Like, I'll just show you guys that right now, because we have 1 Kit, 2 Mercourier, and 1 Tragedy, and then also 1 ad libitum, I guess. So that's because we are also on the Allure of Darkness package. So having the branded sword in order to send off of the Shrouded Dragon after you've gone like Allure of Darkness, banish a Mercourier, banish like a Shrouded Dragon, banish an Albaz, you can automatically recur it. But then also you need this for the grind game, because we can't run the Lubellion, the Searing Dragon, so our grind game isn't as good as in normal Yu-Gi-Oh, obviously, because we can't just be constantly shuffling back our monsters to fuse. So having the branded sword lets us spin back one of our Albaz, so we don't always have 3 banished Albaz, and it lets us continuously grind game. I think it's 100% worth the brick in this kind of build, but we'll get into that after. So I just wanted to make sense on why Shroud is like actually incredible in this deck, and I just wanted to make that it's one of our best decks normally, or cards normally. I wanted to really make it with this build even better and help our grind game. Mercury at 2 also is nice, because branded Lost is so expensive in this format. So now that I'm running 2 Mercury at like 43, 42 cards, I get to open this thing a lot. And then also Shrouded essentially searches the Mercury, because we'll go Allure, banish the Mercury, and then we can obviously do our thing. It also opens us up for the Renbrum branded in White Lions, which is pretty good, having the Mercourier, because then we can just send the Mercourier off the branded fusion and then go branded in white and continue to play the game, which is a really broken combo. And then Spriggan's Kit just to spin back the branded fusion and also play through hand traps with branded and high spirits. Also, the ad-lib is a very good choice because of the fact that we are not on the puppet, so or like a lock, obviously, because it's way too expensive. So Adlib is a very good option to send off of one of your Guignols and then spin back your 1 Mirror Jade, because Mirror Jade is 33 points. So having the Adlib to spin it back and always be able to get back your Mirror Jade, even if it gets banished. In post-structure deck, once we get Stigmata, we can always spin back the Mirror Jade as well, which is really nice. But I think Adlib will be a staple in Genesys branded, frankly. So for the rest of the monsters, we do end up having 3 Radiant, the multi-dimensional Kaiju. This is new. A lot of Towers decks have been cropping up, whether it is Lunalight being one of the best decks right now. seemingly in Genesys format from like DB ladder, and then also I've seen purely a lot, and then also Super Quantum makes a tower. So I think like having a main deck out for towers is almost required in this format at the moment. Just because of there's a decent likelihood you could go against a towers deck, and it's also just really good removal. It's also a high spirits bridge in my deck, so I can use this going first and convert it with plenty of my spells like high spirits or allure of darkness. So I think that Radiant's actually just an incredible option. I was running DD Crow in this spot, but I feel like Radiant is a better removal. It's just better as in like because it's removal, and then also it is a it's just like a good, it's just a really good card in our deck. When we've used it in other formats too in TCG, so I figured when I saw people running Kaijus, this would be a no-brainer in our deck, and it's worked out pretty well in my testing in this format. Also, if you guys want to see me upload gameplays of Genesys, let me know down below. So one branded fusion for the spells, one branded in red, one branded in white, and then 3 branded opening, and then 3 branded in high spirits for the branded spells. So these are basically your best options that you have in terms of spell cards while running branded in Genesys format. Branded fusions also 33 points, so it ends up really being kind of more of an expensive kind of thing, having the branded fusion in your deck, so we can't run multiples of it. But once again, that's why we run something like the Spriggan's Kit in order to recur it, or just having plenty of options like between the tragedy and then the retribution in order to get it back in rotation. And then branded in high spirits helps us play through hand traps. It also helps us make our end board better. If we open up a Luber plus a dragon, we can go high spirits instead of going branded fusion in order to set up something in our graveyard and then search out the kit, right? We can set up a Titanclad or a Albion and then be able to play through a potential Ash Blossom, which is still fairly cheap in the points distribution. I haven't seen a ton of Ash in people's list, but it could be there. And then Branded Red is still one of your best onboard pieces, and Branded White is just another copy of Branded Fusion. But once again, Branded Fusion just does so much in this format. It's still probably the most powerful. It's like one of the most powerful spells of all time in Yu-Gi-Oh, right? And we can still run it with a pretty healthy branded engine. Like, we still get to run 3 Albaz. Like, it could be a lot worse, and I think that this deck is very underrated for the format if you just know what you're doing. And then for the rest of the main deck, we have 3 Fusion Deployment, and then 2 Dark Hole, and then 3 Allure of Darkness for the rest of the spells. So I'm running 3 Fusion Deployment because it's free. It's just such a good card. Like, in our deck, Summon Cartesia or Albaz, it's a board breaker, it's an extender, it's such a good card. Dark Hole is because we need something to draw off of Allure of Darkness to break boards, essentially, or just Shrouded Dragon, and we're at a pretty low count at like 42, 43. So the chances of us like drawing into it with Allure or like a Shrouded Dragon is pretty high overall. So I think having the 2 Allure, Dark Hole, which I believe are 7 points each, so they are kind of, or they might be 7 or 3, but they're pretty costly, but like they're lower on the totem pole in terms of like board breakers, so it's what I could fit in order to get to 99 points. And it's working out pretty well. It just clears most boards outside the towers boards, and really you don't really care about destruction yourself, especially when you have things like branded opening, which can prevent the destruction of your own fusion monsters. So Dark Hole's not even a bad top deck in a grind game, but it's just a good way to equalize the board state and remove bodies, because between the Kaijus and the Dark Hole, I think like you have a pretty good opportunity of opening up a piece of non-engine that removes a body, and then you get to play the game essentially going second, which is pretty good, especially with the Allure of Darkness. And Allure of Darkness, these are like 5s each, I think, but they're totally worth it. The gas you get from running this, plus just like, because you get to go +1 essentially if you see the Mercury or Tragedy, you're on a pretty low build, it works out pretty well for that reason, and it goes really well with your branded sword lines as well. So I just love Allure of Darkness in branded, always have. And I'm running the Radiant to like really extenuate that, to like replace the Bestials, which are normally there for the Allure, and it just works out very well, and the card is very good in this Genesys format for branded. And then for the traps, we have 1 branded banishment, 1 fusion dupe, 1 branded sword, and 1 branded retribution. I already explained branded sword. Great grind game. Same with retribution. This is also an amazing endboard piece to fuse back your fusions if you need to. But then also branded banishment is the new addition. You can set this off of your Albion and recur your 1 Mirror Jade. It's just another way to have a very good grind game and just like make up for the gaps that this format leaves branded. And then Fusion Dupe is just a good card overall. You can use it on branded fusion, you could use it on fusion deployment. If you're still running Shaddoll Fusion, you can run it there. I'm not, but this card's still just great there. Also super poly, so I just think it's a good one of, honestly, that I could just draw going first in order to, or grind game, honestly. And also it's just really for my side deck ratios because I just couldn't fit the third, so I just decided to main the fusion dupe. One Mirror Jade, three Albion. I know I'm gonna have some proxies here, but this is supposed to be three Albion. We don't have the Lubellion, so I felt like three Albion was just like necessary because you could send this one to the graveyard because you use off a Mirror Jade, then you need one to fuse with, and then you'll need the third for like the crackback if you just don't have a perfect grind game. So I think the third is mandatory in Branded Despia for Genesys. So, and then one Rinbrum, one Titanclad, no Lubellion the Searing because it's not legal in this format, and then two Grand Guignol, one Despian Quertus, and then one Despian Lulu Wall Lilith. If you saw the playmat and thought we were going to be running Lulu, you were correct. So Lulu is a great target to summon off a Grand Guignol. Like I said, this deck is a lot about Cartesia Grand Guignol control, and always having a Despian target for the Grand Guignol is highly important between the two Quem, the Despian Quertus, and then the Despian Lulu. But then also we're siding Ultimate Slayer, so having an index synchro option that I don't have to side a synchro card for is pretty solid overall. So, and then also it's just good I can get Quem or Cartesia on the board, or we could just make this with a, this is also a good card sometimes to make with like an Albion in a grind game that you can't get off your board. So it's just like not bad in a grind game in this format. And then once again, one Mirror Jade is just like, Mirror Jade just does so much. Quertus is just such a good board breaker. Yeah, you can send Guignol off a High Spirits. It's just so good. And then Titanclad is just one of your best ways to break boards or layer your end board. Yeah, no, the one Mirror Jade is totally enough, especially with the branded Banishment and the branded Sword, though. And then for the rest of the extra deck, one Stepelia, one Secretarion Dragon, one Borreload Furious Dragon, one Chaos Star Source, and then one Masquerade. These are just my utility fusions, but they're all extremely broken in their own respect. Masquerade is my win con a lot of the time in this format, because I could like put them down to like 4K and then make Masquerade, and then they just basically kill themselves on it while trying to play through the interruptions I set up on my board. Especially with like the non-engine I run, I can usually just like wipe the board and then just like sub my board and then put Masquerade if I don't OTK them. One Borreload is just like the best non-Mirror Jade fusion in your extra deck, I think, for branded Despia in general a lot of the time. So it's just been insane. Secretarion's also another way to have a grind game, and also it's a very good floodgate against dragon decks. I'm not maining Alba Lenatus anymore. So this is just like against dragon decks, insane. And then also you can just spin back a spellcaster and a dragon, summon one of them. So it's just very good for the grind game once again to like get my Albions back in rotation, spin them back. It's just very good utility card. Also is nice with Cartesia in the graveyard or Quem or Albaz to like board break with. It's very good. And then Chaos Star Source is just like mandatory pop 2, great to make off your Rinbrum and Albaz. And then Stepelia is just like generically just insane, I think, in pure branded Despia. So let's see the side deck really quickly. So 2 fusion duplication, as I mentioned before. This I just couldn't really fit the third. And then 3 Ultimate Slayer for board breaking, plus a Veilon. I don't have the Veilon yet, but this Veilon will be to pop spells and traps, obviously. And then 3 DD Crow, because I apparently don't own a third Crow, or I can't find my third Crow. I know I do have it somewhere, I just don't know where it is. Crow's just insane for the graveyard decks, and I think this is mandatory. It's also free in this format. Speaking of free, we have Dark Ruler No More. That's like the theme of my side deck. It's all just like free value since I use most of my points in my extra deck in my side. And then Dark Ruler just clears most problematic end boards that set up like really big negates. But I feel like this card will get worse and worse as this format gets more balanced. I feel like and I might want, like, obviously I think things like Fallen and the Virtuous will like replace something like this maybe. Except it will be in the main deck. And then 1 Twin Twister, 2 Cosmic Cyclone for the back row removal. This could be 3 Twin Twister. I just can't find my other Twin Twister. So yeah. Guys, that was my Genesys deck profile. Let me know down below. I really thought out this list, so go out, try this out on DB Ladder or any other Genesys place. Let me know what you guys thought. And if you guys want to see more branded Genesys format content, and with that being said, subscribe today. Click the join button. Go to my website, megagamesgx.com, if you want to get my branded / Dracotal spreadsheet. All these combos are relevant for Genesys. 100+ combos for branded and Dracotal updated monthly, guys. So great resource. So yeah, guys, with that being said, we'll be seeing you guys later. Love you guys. Stay safe. Bye now.